Hey guys, welcome back to our Arizona Coyotes franchise here on FHM12. This is episode number 8, season 8 of the series. Last season, we had a good year. We made it to the Stanley Cup final and lost in 7 to the New York Islanders. We are up here at the beginning of year 8. I've skipped ahead through the draft and free agency. Let me catch you guys up. So a few points from last season. Devin Levi ended up winning the 2032-2033 Vezina Trophy. Great year for him. This was the year he ended up finishing with a .921 save percentage and a 2.2 goals against average, 6 shutouts, 41-13 he went, with 5 overtime losses. And on the forward side of things, Caleb Malhotra went home with the Selke Trophy. Best defensive forward, his best season for us. He scored 60 points. He had a pretty good year, good power play numbers for us. Overall, just a good year for him as well. We have expiring contracts this year for Denver Barkey, so that'll be a change, and Bill Zonin. We have to figure out what we want to do with those guys going into the year. It all depends, right? We're poised for another cup run here. We ended up bringing back Easton Cowan. We ended up bringing back Romanov. Matic Schultz, we re-signed him. Ivar Stenberg, we signed him to an extension. And Lyndon McQuaid signed his contract extension. I'll go over those in a second. We traded for Loki Johansson from the Maple Leafs. We traded away one of our prospects, Antignani, and a 4th round pick. And we also dealt away Cohen Handby, Cullen Ellsworth, and Osberger, the defenseman that came up in the playoffs and played for Lyndon McQuaid. We dealt him away as well. We signed... where is he? Alexander Bobrov out of college. We signed him in free agency. Gonna see what we can turn him into. We signed Daniil Pavlin out of the Slovak League, but really out of the OHL. He played 2 years in the Slovak League. We signed him. We also signed goaltender Carson Bjarnason. And we also signed... where is he? Matthias Sapovalov. And at the draft, we drafted this centerman of the DL2 League in Germany, and this centerman, David Ronaldus, out of Moose Jaw. With the 3rd round pick we got in the Osberger trade, we drafted Alexander Shigapov. I think he's going to be a great defenseman. He was a great pick for us. He was projected to go 24th. He slipped all the way to the 3rd round. And it was just a crazy draft pickup for us. So hopefully we can turn him into a piece we can use in the future. We ended up getting a few good depth pieces in that draft, but only 3 picks. Now that you guys are kind of up to speed with how the offseason went, I will go over the contract extensions. We ended up signing Matic Schultz for 4 years at $4.8 million. Romanov, we signed him to a 2-year, $7 million extension. He's going to be someone we probably move on from next year. But we also have him for next year too, so at most he'll be here for another 2 years. At the very least, he'll be here for this year, or maybe deadline if we don't make the playoffs. Ivar, we extended him for another 3 years after this at $6 million. I think pretty good contract value for him. Lyndon McQuaid. This one was huge for us in the offseason. He's developed into the exact player we need on the back end. He developed into that point defenseman. We signed him for a long time. I believe. What's that? 7-year extension. So he's with us for 8 years on top of this year. He's in the final year of his ELC entry-level contract for us. He's been everything and more we've needed. He developed into a 44-point man for us on the back end last year, and he's only getting better. So with these moves, I think we're still maintaining that cup run. I think this is the year you have to do it, though. With those key expiries of Barkey and Bill Zonin, I think you have to do it this year. We also have other guys expiring too, but they're less. Nick Hague, we signed him to a 1-year deal just to bring him in as depth, because we do have an injury. Graham Pickering has been out for the last, when he got hurt it said 3 to 4 months with a torn UCL. As you can see there, it is basically 200 days. Crazy injury for him. So Nick Hague is just a replacement for him. He'll probably play in the AHL for us. Kinda as soon as we can get back Pickering. But all in all, I think again, we're poised for another cup run. I think we do have a cup window of about 3 years. So if we don't get the goal of turning it into a dynasty, I think the aim is for back-to-back cups and then a year off, and then the third one. I think you can kind of set it up for that, but I'd like to get back-to-back this year and next year. That's kind of the goal, because it's going to go along with Levi, and then we'll have a year off, and we'll be able to bring up one of these other goalies to get the final cup. But we also have to just start with the first cup, and I think, again, that starts this year. If we go to the news posting that gets posted every single season, the season preview, we are the top team in the league to beat. Devin Levi could be up for another Vezina year, and Caleb Malhotra could be up for another Selke or even a Hart if he can develop the point scoring needed. We need Matthew Knies to stay healthy all season. I'd like him to hit the 70-point mark this year. Leon Ruse, I'd like him to get back to point per game. Another year of him at point per game would just improve our team that much more. Matic Schultz, he's got to make steps forward. Ivar's got to make steps forward. They have last year, but they just got to keep continuing to improve. The plan here for Barkey is Friedman will take over for Barkey, and then Seacard will take over for Zonin, and then you have Kenny that will come in next year. Kenny's going to play another year in the AHL. He only played 50 games. I think another year is perfectly fine for him with Seacard down there. They can just dominate the AHL. Look, if you look at the AHL lines there, or the AHL depth chart, you have Donovan Knapp starting the year down there. He started with us last year and just couldn't get it done. he might be a career minor league goalie for us, maybe a third goalie. Hopefully he can get it done at the NHL level at some point, but only posting a 905 isn't great, even in the AHL. So he's going to get a full year down there. Going to get to be the guy with Rasmus Nilsson. And we have depth down there with pieces. I think they're poised for a big run as well. So that is kind of the rundown for the team. I will get us up to the halfway mark, and then I will bring you guys back and give you an update. Alright, we're up here at the halfway point of the season, December 18th, 2033. Here is a look at the standings. We currently sit 6th in the Central with 48 points, 1 behind 4th, 2 behind 3rd. And it's been an underwhelming start, but the team's finally got their legs together. We've been dealing with injuries. In our recent games, we've played a lot better. We're kind of, again, getting our feet underneath us. I think we're still a playoff team. We're still contending. But there is work to be done and guys to be added to the team. So I will meet you guys up at the trade deadline. Before we do that, still no news on the Barkey extension or the Bill Zonin extension. I'm inclined to keep Zonin around for team chemistry reasons, that he's considered a leader on this team. Season 8 wrap-up. It was a really underwhelming season. We had dealt with a bunch of injuries. Leon Ruse, partially torn UCL. He's still out for another 1 to 2 months. Caleb Malhotra with a horn labrum. Matic Schultz didn't do great. We ended up picking up Nick Lardis to finish out the season to try to push us into the playoffs. And he played well. He just couldn't get the job done with him. Going into this year's offseason, we have a bunch of changes. I'm thinking about keeping Nick Lourdes around, keeping Easton Cowan, but Denver Barkey, Elias Pettersson, Bill Zonin, I think will be going out the door. I need to call up Liam Kenny now, and I need to call up Anton Seacard. So that'll be the move we look to make. Kaneko. We are looking to probably move on from. We've developed him. We don't have space for him. I want to bring in Alexander Shigapov as well. So let's take a look at the stats to end the season. Matthew Nyes led the way with 63 points in 84 games. Full season for Nyes. Not terrible, but we need to keep that going for next year. Nick Lardis finished second in points. Had a great end of the season for us. Easton Cowan, there were 46, 45 for Barkey, 41 for Malhotra. The injuries really just did screw us over, especially because Ruse was having a great start to the season. And for goaltenders, Devin Levi was not good. Now, I'm okay with giving him one more season since he does have one left on his deal. But after that, we're going to have to find that replacement. And it's going to have to be Nilsson or Darryl Lindholm, Donovan Knapp. One of these three have to make that step next year. In order for me to be able to trust them, I think it's probably going to be Knapp taking over with Nilsson behind him. But again, time will tell as we get into next season. and through the season. Again, we have 1 year of Devin Levi left. We have 5 years of Nyes, 4 years of Schultz, 4 years of Lardis on a pretty sweet deal. I'm thinking of putting him with Liam Kenny and Seacard as well. So that'll do it for this episode. Hopefully you did enjoy. If you did, don't forget to hit like and subscribe, and I will see you in year number 9.